right? So it's like, how do you not mention Cuba in the context of what's happening in Afghanistan? How do you, and then I said to the secretary, I said, look, in every presidential administration, every presidential lifespan, there are moments where presidents must step up. They have to lead. We saw it, with Reagan telling Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Mm-hmm. We saw it when Kennedy had to confront the Cuban Missile Crisis. I mean, we there are things that you have to do as a president that will define your presidency. And I frankly believed that the moment of Afghanistan and Cuba could have been a moment for Biden to step up as a president and lead and change a narrative that is not a good narrative for the United States. And the narrative is that the United States is retreating and China and Russia are advancing. And that is a very real narrative. It's a very scary narrative for my generation. It's a very scary narrative for my children's generation. And, what we're seeing in Cuba is the administration did not, in my opinion, articulate exactly what they were willing to do and not do. I took a lot of heat for saying that we should at least consider and have on the table the possibility of military intervention.
He had mentioned that you had mentioned that you'd be open to military intervention in
Absolutely.
Cuba, and you still stand by that.
Sure, and you can't deal with any international conflict and take that off the table. Why would you? It doesn't make any sense. You have a government that is a rogue government that doesn't respect the human rights of its people. That has a tremendous superiority in terms of power and arms, right? The Cuban mm-hmm. people, just like the Venezuelan people and the Nicaraguan people, they don't have the ability to defend themselves. So an idea that they can somehow effectuate change in a way that completely avoids conflict is very, very difficult. It's happened. I'm not saying it hasn't happened in the history of humanity. It has happened. And certainly you pray every day for it to happen that way. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants peace, and everybody wants peaceful resolutions to conflicts. But that's not always the case. And I think it's naive to assume that it is. And sometimes, by the way, in history, the pacifist route actually provokes and creates more conflict, more military conflict. Right. So sometimes, and I'll give you an example from Afghanistan. You're trying to pull out the military. You end up having to send in twice the number of troops, 5,000 troops to try to pull out 2,500.